Hello and welcome to Let's Talk with Victory. I'm Leisha Lee. Today's topic, ladies, let's talk about change. Some people don't like change. Some people do like change. How comfortable are you with change?
Very comfortable. I love change. I embrace change.
Not the coins though. We're not talking about the change.
That's helpful too.
I like change too.
Yeah, I like all of it because that adds up too. You know, you go to the coin machine and all that adds up. But I love change. I wouldn't be here today if I didn't change. Yeah. So I embrace change. I love it, and especially if it's positive change. I'm all for changing.
People that don't like change are weird to me. I mean, because it's really practical.
Just weird.
Yeah, it's really weird that when people say they don't like change, okay, well then you stay in Tuesday because tomorrow it's going to be Wednesday. Right. So like that, it's just that simple to me. Every day changes.
Yes.
But see, that's not a change because it's a system.
But it's a
Because after
change.
Tuesday
But it doesn't
comes
stay.
Wednesday,
Anything
Wednesday
that
comes
doesn't stay
Thursday.
the same is
Changes,
change.
right. And you have to change
Them
to
7
grow.
days the same, no?
No, but the day is different. So last Monday is not going to be like this Monday.
Right.
And this Monday is not going to be like Tuesday. It's a system. Everything has a system. Life has a system. So I get that, but everything changes. The seasons change. Listen, fall came in and rested itself at our feet. Like, I'm here.
Just bump summer over.
Summer ain't even get a chance to say, see y'all later. Fall said, get up out of here. So it's a change, and you don't know, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know when it's going to happen, but I think change is good. Yes. Now, do I think that there should be a structure? And I'm a person of structure and order, and I don't operate outside of something that, like, I will leave a job and don't have no order. Because if you don't have any structure, I know we ain't going to be around for a long time.
No.
So I'm not going to be around and get messed up with y'all. But I need structure, I need order, but I also like change because change means that we should be doing something better. Yeah. And for me, when you change, that means that you're trying to do something better. When you change age, you have to do, something better. Mm-hmm. So people that don't like change, it's weird to me. It's really weird.
Change builds character. Mm-hmm. Change make you look at yourself and understand who you are, where you need to be, and what you need to do differently. That's change for me. Like, if there wasn't change, then we would be stagnant and you'd be boring. Mm-hmm. So weird, boring. For me, change is what we need to improve ourselves and to enhance, to become the people that we're supposed to be.
Now, are there things that don't need to change? Absolutely. There are some things that, what they say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
I was about to say that.
Don't reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
You don't, but you can improve upon it. And so you are changing it a little, but it's not change, it's improving and maybe adding to something to enhance.
I think that's the most essential thing for me when it comes to just, this vague word of change. It has to be an improvement. Mm-hmm. Like, you could change and change back. Mm-hmm. And you change back and back and back. Mm-hmm. I'd rather see an evolution. I'd rather things to increase, improve, advance, get better. Those are the kinds of changes I'm more interested in.
Right. That's good.
I was going to say too, like I said, I'm comfortable with change, but it's a different change. Now, I'll say from a spiritual point, and it's actually happened, say I'm in a room I'm a Christian and I'm in a room with non-believers. I'm not going to change myself just to please them, or just to, like, I'm just going to say just to please them, because now my mind going back to me being in a room, just to please them.
Well, for me, I understand what you're saying, and I like that, because as a believer, when you walk in, your presence should change the atmosphere.
Yes.
And so I understand what you're saying. Mm-hmm. So that is change, but you don't have to change to fit in.
Exactly. Right.
The atmosphere should change because you're there.
Right.
And you don't want to make anyone uncomfortable, but you don't change to get comfortable.
Right. And and they was expecting a change to be comfortable. I'm like, nope, well,
But you did.
Change.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
You did change.
Right. I changed myself right out the door.
That's change.
And now I'm changing.
Right.
Now, do you all think that change is healthy?
If
Is always
if it's a healthy change?
Is it always healthy? Is change always healthy? Why or why not?
If you change your eating habits to be healthy, you change your clothes, please, after you take a bath. Like, I'm just thinking, like, simple things. So change can be, I think so. It just depends on, if it's for something healthy. If your relationship isn't healthy, then something's got to change. If your lifestyle isn't healthy, something's got to
gotta
change.
If we piggyback, if we're going to take it back to the word and our VMI teachings, if you recall when Pastor was talking about forgiveness, and when you hold on to forgiveness, how it affects you physically, emotionally, and spiritually, and then if you don't change it, you won't be able to move forward. So, in light of that, that's healthy change, because you have to recognize that what's bounding you and what's holding you back and what's affecting you negatively, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, so that you can progress and get out of that situation. So that, to me, would be a healthy change.
You look like you got something real good
I
to
know.
say.
I knew you were about to come to me. Because my brain is just like, y'all know me.
Yeah.
Click, 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 clicking. And I'm just like, what I'm hearing y'all say is like, is change healthy? But at the beginning of the situation you listed, there's something there. There's a catalyst for that change. And I think the biggest thing is really being able to identify that catalyst, so that you know when it's time for something new, something next, something better. And I think so often we're so afraid of the change. We might be aware of that catalyst, we may be aware of that irritation or whatever, but the jump to do something different, or the jump that we may feel God or the job or our family is calling us to do the next different thing, it can be terrifying. You can change or change pieces and end up reverting back. So healthy change, I just see it as, it's gotta be a decision, just almost like we say with repentance.
Right.
It's a complete turn.
Yes.
So, it's not a dibble and a dabble. It's like, I'm only gonna eat celery this day. No, I have to make a whole change. I have to make a deliberate change. I have to make a shift in my position, not just physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, so that I can maintain what's new next and better.
So that's it. The key phrase that you said is making a shift in your position, because change can happen overnight, but it usually doesn't. And so you said, you have to identify the catalyst. You know what it is.
Right.
You know what it is that you need to change. So you've already identified it, but like you said, it could be scary, and it could give you anxiety, and you like, I don't want to, but for me, I weigh out what I really want. Do I want to keep feeling like this?
Yes.
Or do I want to feel better?
Right.
And so my options are, I know what the issue is. I'll use me with forgiveness. Listen, I really thought that I had, if they don't want to, I'm good. I don't need to forgive people because I can dismiss it. Like, I'm good. But then you go down the line and you still, it's still there. It's still heavy.
Yes.
So I had to change my position in my mind and in my heart, what I thought about it, how I felt about it, because I thought that if I forgave him and I just walked away, that it was good. And then when I saw him again, it's like, I forgive you, but
Yeah.
no, it's about identifying it. You know it, but you have to change your position so that it can begin to change. Change don't have to, I'm changed, because we
Right.
know that that's a lie.
Right.
Because I think the first step is, of course, we can do things physically, we can buy different foods, we can move, whatever, but the first step is mindset. I think after that is heart set. Like, okay, you can recognize mentally, well, I want to be, well, it's a spiritual show, but you got to trust in the Lord with all your heart.
Yes.
So maybe it's the heart first,
Yes.
right? Then as a man think in his heart, think, so is he.
Come on,
so
man.
then, come on. We said we've been here a minute. So, first, I think it's a heart thing. That conviction comes from the heart. You know, like you said, you kind of know or have an unction what thing you need to change. And I think then it's the mindset, the way you're going to meditate on the thing, the way you're going to talk about it. And I think from there come the steps you need to actually walk out in your life. And I don't necessarily think it's like, I have to figure out this change. I think that as I step through things and go through things, as we all do, we're going to do it with Christ. We're going to do it through and by the Holy Spirit. So there's going to be guidance. There's going to be instruction for us as we go.
Change your mind. It starts with there. That's the healthy change. Once you change your mind about how you think and how you see it, and you change and say, I'm always going to use me because I'm not going to speak about nobody else. I know when I was pregnant with my last child, I was a diabetic. Never been a diabetic my whole entire life. And so guess what? They were like, either you change this or you're going to have to do this. And so I told my mind, because I don't want to be like this, and I'm definitely not doing that.
Yeah.
So I need to change. And it was a slow turn that I had to make because, when you're pregnant, if you, those who have children, or you've heard, when you're pregnant, your body kind of does what it wants to do. So you don't really have any control over the things that happen, but you can control it, if that makes any sense. And so you have to make changes. Like for me, I couldn't, I had to go complete vegan when I was pregnant. Like I couldn't eat any meats, I couldn't eat any sugar, any of that stuff. And not because it wasn't what I wanted to do, it was because that's what she said I wasn't going to do. But I had to change, or either I was going to have to take this insulin. And I was going to have to poke myself in the stomach. And I said, what you say I needed to do? So I changed my mind and put those French fries down and said, I'm going to go and do what they said do, because this is not an option for me. So I had to change my mind. So you know what the catalyst is. And you have to change your mind first. You have to change your position, and then change will begin to take place.
I found this a daily thing, though. Like, I have this thing, about remind. I have to remind. I have to think again. Day by day, I have to come, to that same place every day. This is a decision I made. This is the way I'm going to walk, because it's very easy in this, body, in this
But the
flesh,
Word of God says to renew your mind daily.
daily. So it's a daily.
It's not something that we
reminder.
read. It's something that we have to do.
To
We
do.
literally have to do it. And that's why we can't just, see words or hear little cliches. And you have to apply the word. You have to apply it. And if you don't renew your mind daily, your mind is going to stay on what it was on last year, yesterday, last month. And it's going to weigh on you. It's going to be like heavy. It's going to be heavy, and you're not going to be able to climb up out of it after a while. So you have to renew your mind daily. So I like that. Remind.
What do you all think about the speed of change happening in today's time? The speed of change, whether it's economically, in fashion and dating, like just the speed of change that's happening now. Before, I don't think a lot was changed too quick. And now it's like everything is sped up. Like, okay,
rapid.
we got this today.
I think we
tomorrow we
all
got
feel
something
like
else.
that. Like a year feels like it flies by. Like you cannot tell me, like, how are we in September?
Right.
The time flies. You have fast fashion. It's meant to be worn once or twice, disposable. Like that, I think, is one of the hallmarks of this time of life. And it's not just the U.S., it's other countries do the same thing. Very, very fast-paced. Anything you can do to accelerate. So if you can finish high school and by the time you're 12, they'll do it. If you can finish college in 2 years instead of 4, do it. I'm going to get my master's in 18 months, do it. I'm going to pay off my mortgage in 15 years, not 30 years. Do it. Like we're speeding up. I just think that is a sign of the times. I think is very indicative of where we are and we're in the world and civilization and
I don't like it.
dispensations. Oh, I don't like it either. But I recognize and
Because
discern that we are in this time.
We have been in this microwave society for so long, where it's just like pop it in, put it on 30 seconds, and it's done. And at the end of it, you got to go back and fix it because it's not done. And so
I'm coming for that air fryer.
but if I put it in my air fryer long enough, it's done. But I don't like it because there are certain things, like we said earlier, certain things don't need to change. And certain things, change takes time. So I'll just take the presidency. We get so upset because we got a president and he's new and he said all of the stuff that he was going to do, but y'all don't understand that he's undoing 8 years of what was
Right,
done
right,
from the
right,
previous
right.
regime.
It's
And so
time.
it's like,
Yes.
oh, he ain't doing nothing for us, or we the people. And we'll give him a minute because he gotta fix all the
Yes.
stuff that was messed up before. If you move into a house that somebody was already in, don't you have to go in and make it yours?
Right.
It's yours when you get in there because you just bought it.
Right.
But you have to go in and fix the holes in the wall. You might have to change the stairs out. You got to replace the kitchen sink.
Yeah.
It's going to take some time. But because everything is such a microwave society, it's like we want it done and we want it now. And this is how we, I mean, even down to things like, and this is a touchy situation, we want people to accept your sexuality. Whatever it is your business.
Right.
But don't try to change the entire world to focus on what you want to be and what whatever you're doing should be behind your doors. I don't care if you walk outside with it, but it's not my business. So don't make the whole entire world change to fit you.
Yeah,
You know, I'm not,
that's
it doesn't matter. Nobody's going against what you want to be, what you want to do. That's between you and the Lord. But don't change the whole world.
Right. You just pressed a button because this year, ironically, we were told that if even in the lower grades, if a parent comes in and says they want their child to be addressed by another pronoun,
Oh, yes. You have to go with
you
it.
have to go with
Oh,
it.
yes.
And that kind of
Yes.
took me back. I'm
Yeah.
like, really, that's where we are. So we
Yeah.
are changing.
Yes.
This is the name that's on my roster, and I'm calling that
Right.
name to whatever the parent says that they
Exactly,
want their
yeah.
child to be called. That's what you have to do.
Yeah.
And
My
that's the
goddaughter just
that's
told
the-
me yesterday
Yeah.
that they are making, they're talking about doing gender neutral bathrooms in the high school.
They are.
And I said, while I understand,
They are.
Some places they have family bathrooms or whatever the case may be, you are now opening up the world
Yes.
for anything to happen.
Yes.
Right.
So that means that this young man can go in this bathroom because it's a gender neutral, and he can still be a young man and there be a girl in there, and something happens, and then you say, well, it was a gender neutral bathroom.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like no morals, is no standards,
It's no rules.
nothing.
No
I-
rules.
and
Anything
it's also
goes.
like somebody have a stamp and say, okay, this okay, this okay, this okay, this okay, just let it go.
Because
just
you
let
want
it
to
go, let it
please
go.
everybody.
right.
And you can't, because at the
Not
end we
at
talked
all.
about
Nope.
structure.
Nope.
We need structure.
And that's what's lacking.
nobody wants structure in
Nope.
life. You have to teach structure from an early age. That's why
Yes.
we go to kindergarten. That's why we go to work. Like, I'm a manager, and my staff knows that you're not going to come to me and tell me what you're not going to do.
Right.
You tell me what you're not going to do, then you're not going to do it here. Go home. Go home for the day, because that's what you want to do. And it's okay, because I didn't come looking for you for a job. You came here. And in that job description, it said XYZ and assign duties as needed.
Right.
And you going to tell me what you're not going
And
to
you're
do?
an
Well, go
employee,
and
right.
go work at your job and then do what you want to do.
Yeah.
So what do you all think has been the biggest change in the last 10 years, and what still needs to be changed? Or is there something that definitely needs to be changed?
Technology.
Well, first,
That's
what do
the
you
bi-
think?
The biggest
that's,
thing is
that's what you think the
technology.
biggest.
The biggest
okay.
thing is technology. Just different things, just different technical things. And I think it needs to change far as the monitoring and far as the things that's really inappropriate that they put out there. It's just everything is just a go like, okay, it's fine just to be there. Some things just shouldn't be put out there.
Well, now they do have where a parent can put like a time limit on the
And locks.
And lock.
and
Right.
locks,
Locks and passcodes
locks,
and
Yeah.
things like
passcodes,
that.
all of that.
But I'm saying from a point of not from putting it on the parents, from the point of whatever media site is putting it out there for them to not put it out there. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Like everything just shouldn't be exposed to just be out there.
you're speaking
Some
of
stuff is just too much.
Some type of regulation.
Right, some type of regulation. Some things is just too much. If
I
they
think
had
that they
that.
want it to be. I
Yeah,
think that
but
they
they
want it to be.
probably
I,
can't.
I think that, no, they can.
Oh,
They
okay.
definitely can. But they will dance on the line.
Right. Oh, yeah, that's true.
There's a
Yeah,
line,
that's true. That's
and
true.
they'll dance
Right.
on it, and
Right.
they may not cross it,
Right.
but they will dance on it.
That's
So.
true, because I actually seen a commercial that came on, and it was in reference to like, if your child has been doing this, watching this, some kind of social media site, and they was actually aware of all the damage that they were doing with the kids, but because they wanted the money and the views, they just let it just
And
go out
that's what it's
there.
about,
Right.
the money
And
and
they
the
could have,
views.
and they could have
Right.
controlled it. I'm like, wow.
Right, because believe it or not, even like if when you look at those major games like with the Super Bowl and different things, there are certain things that they're not supposed to have on those shows for the public during that session. But again, they push the bar. You know, they go right to that line and say, okay, can we get away with it until something crosses the line and then they get in trouble and have to pay out. So I understand exactly where you're going with that.
Come on,
Don't
thoughts.
you?
Come on, thoughts.
I'm still collecting my thoughts. Honestly, like I'm listening to this technology thing. Shantae was just talking about like the whole sexual orientation. You know, and you ask about the biggest change we've seen in the last 10 years. I think it would have to be that one. You know, I think going back to the 80s with AIDS becoming such a big thing, then you have the, you know, gay pride movement, all of those things. And I think that community, like, you know, and advocating for them, all of that's continuing to be a prevalent issue to the point of legislation, to the point of it coming into our school systems, to the point of, you know, considering marriage, you know, same-sex marriage, a civil right. I think that conversation is still big. And for me, the thing that doesn't help is that I don't always see Christians make the same standard. So I think that can be even more troubling for people in the world. Some are accepting, some are not.
Yeah.
So I think that's the biggest change we've seen, and I think we'll see more change there.
Yeah, I agree. I think that is the biggest change that we've seen with, I don't want to say sexuality, but I want to say your choices in sexuality. I just feel like everything is forced. I saw recently where they're going to add a same-sex couple to a cartoon for kids, and I was just like, what? Like, we have a hard enough time as parents trying to teach our kids our body parts without, you know, crossing the line and trying to tell them too much. And again, whatever you do in your home is your business. That's between you and your God. My beliefs are my beliefs, and I'm not going to back down from those as a believer. But I just don't think that what you want for your life should be thrust upon someone and make them have to understand or accept what you want to do.
Yep, accept.
Like,
Or
that's
legislate
fine.
it.
Right.
Yeah,
Like,
that's too much. That's
you-
crossing the line.
yeah.
Right.
That's crossing the line. That change is a lot. And what did you say? It was something about legislature. I can't remember right now, but I really feel like it's such a big deal that's not a big deal.
Now, do you all think
Because
that
it's
they brought
supposed to
in?
be, I'm sorry,
Go ahead.
but I think for what you're saying, it's like, I think what we've all seen over time is that the morality or the standards or laws have all kind of degraded.
Yes.
So then they, you know, all of these other influences, sexual, other, are able to rush right in.
Right.
They're coming into our media, they're in
Yeah.
our schools, into our government. So where there is no standard, you know,
That's it.
it runs right in and it's run over. So where I think maybe generations ago we saw people doing some of these things privately, we may have thought or known about it on the side. There was some, even you know, there may have even been
dignity.
privacy.
It had
Which-
some dignity and privacy.
Yeah.
right, or shame.
That
But
too.
it was still private. I
Yeah.
think now with, you know, the thing is acceptance. Accept me as I am. Legislate my rights. I want all the same rights and privileges as everyone else.
That's what it
Do
was.
you think that? Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
You said
Triggered our
the
thought.
civil, that they're making it like a civil rights movement. That is like a slap in the face to people of color. Because why is this your civil right to love somebody? Do you know what the civil rights movement was about? Like, that angers me. What
Now,
kind of change?
do you think they've taken the word discrimination? That they've taken that and used the word discrimination to their advantage to bring that in.
Absolutely. Absolutely, because when it comes to discrimination, the general term was for, against people of color and your rights as someone different than the other race. But now it's about your preferences.
My thing is, y'all ain't even like, we didn't get all the civil rights yet. If you ask me the thing that's changed the least in that amount of time,
Yeah.
I would say it's race relations.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking you're going on the back of the civil rights movement trying to get all these other rights, and we ain't finished.
We ain't got no rights.
Getting it all of them.
We still fighting for our rights.
I know.
And you want to tack on
Right.
your preferences to civil rights? Why is that your civil right? That's your business.
Right.
Let it be your business.
But see, and then to hear people tell it, it's not a preference. So I think you have people who say they were born that way. I think it's a whole lot of.
And if you were born that way, then they should have put "born this way" on your birth certificate, because on your birth certificate, you are one or the other. But if you are born that way, then they need to put as your gender, born this way.
And I think just in the world period, it's just a lot of injustice just out here. It's just so much. It's just a lot of things that's just going on. Everything is just to go, and everybody have a nonchalant attitude about it.
Because we become desensitized to everything. Because so much is going on, and it's just like it's too much for us to process at one time. And so it's just like, I don't want to be fearful, but it's so many murders. I don't want to be fearful, but people are snatching people and trafficking them.
Right.
I don't want to be fearful, but now I got to go to school. I can't take my kid to the bathroom because it's going to be men in the bathroom.
Right.
You know, like
You don't know what to do.
you don't know what to.
you can't focus on.
Yeah,
one
you
good
can't
fight.
focus on one thing because you have to just adapt.
Right.
They want us to adapt to everything.
Right.
And so we become desensitized to it. But everything is changing. Some things are changing for good. Most things are changing for bad. But your standard is what can't change.
Exactly.
Everything
That's
up.
good.
Well said.
Now, some things we know, like you all were talking about, recognizing the catalyst. And if you recognize that catalyst, what if you don't want to change it? Do you think conviction then has to come in to make you want to change for better?
They have to be able to identify conviction. Like if they don't want to change and their hearts are hardened, their minds are hardened, and they're not even looking to change, then the conviction in most cases is not going to kick in.
So I believe that you have conviction. I believe that everybody has conviction. It's some people say, oh, it's that little voice that said, or you toss with the one person on this shoulder, one person on that shoulder, the angel and the devil. Everybody has the conviction, but if you don't want to change, you're just not going to do it, because some people like where they are.
Yes.
Some people like being angry.
Yes.
There are people, and I know that this is not the popular opinion, but there are people who are sick who like it because they like the attention that it gets from it, and they could be well. You could be well, but because this might be the most attention that you've gotten, then that's just where you're going to stay. But it's unhealthy.
Yeah.
It's unhealthy. That's unhealthy, because you have to want to change. You have to want to be better. You have to want to be good. So it's just bad. We could talk about this forever.
You have to
Exactly.
We sure
You have to
can.
be willing to do it. And people comfortable with where they are.
Yeah.
Even if it's negative and they even know it, people are comfortable with
But
it.
you
Well,
know that
ladies-
negativity. You have conviction.
Yeah, unfortunately, we are out of time. I know we could continue this conversation. We can make this a whole nother show.
We about to.
But we are out of time. To our viewers, thank you for tuning in. We hope that what we've shared today will spark a conversation in your home, that you'll talk about what we've talked about. Thank you to Pastor Tony Smith and Victorious Ministries International for allowing us to be a part of the vision. Until next time, bye-bye.